Hi there. Big thank you to you for staying with us here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into News Flash. It is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still phones, Papa Pafie. Franco Trading Enterprise is running a 5 days promotion. 40% discount we're giving you. All you have to do is to make sure you walk into any of our branches and purchase any of our gadgets and you get yourself a 40% discount. Now you can buy your microwave from us, your refrigerators, your television screens. We've got 32 to over 90 inches that we're giving. And so you can also go and then get yours if you want the biggest screen in your room. That's what you need. CCTV cameras are also available. You can also purchase one and monitor your homes and your offices when you're not around. You can do so anytime, anywhere, and you have a better display. And so please do well and get yours as well. Those of us who want to replace our phones or buy new ones, the best place and your best bet has to be Franco Trading Enterprise. It's pretty simple. You got to walk into any of our branches and you can make a purchase over there. We've got iPhone, we've got Samsung, we've got Nokia, any brand that you need to come there. If you need some accessories as well, the best place you can get them is Franco Trading Enterprise. You guaranteed quality, and that's what we're talking about. Now, don't forget that we can also help you if you want us to deliver it to you. We can do exactly so. And I remember very well getting something from Franco Trading Enterprise, and they made a delivery for me, and it was just smooth. All right, so please do well and go to Franco Trading Enterprise and buy from them. Don't let the 40% discount that we're running, go without you making your purchase as well. So please take advantage of that. And this Christmas season that we are all celebrating great moments, you want to make sure that you are also, getting some very, very nice things from Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise says still, phones Papa if you visit our website, www.francotrading.com. Give us a call. Please do not call numbers on, social media. We're giving you numbers that you can call them and do business with them. And it's all about Franco Trading Enterprise. We're grateful to them this morning for bringing us news flash here on Prime Morning. My name is KMJ. You can also join us, get interactive with us, send your messages to us on our WhatsApp line and let us know what you think about the issues that we're talking about this morning. I've got the newspapers over here, and so I'm going to run through them quickly. My guests are already seated. I introduce them and then we'll get into the very first issue. We're looking at the OSP, and Ken Ofori Atta officially has been charged to court. 7 others are also involved. The lawyer of Ken Ofori Atta has been speaking yesterday, and he says Ken is not afraid of prosecution. We're going to be looking at that issue as well here on the show, but let me start off with Daily Graphic. And this morning it says, I will assent to anti-gay bill. President pledges updates Christian Council on key national issues. He also spoke about the cathedral issue as well, and the clergy were clapping for the responses that he gave with regards to some of these issues, especially these 2 major issues that has to do with the anti-gay bill and the cathedral. We'll be looking at some of these issues in the coming days. But government declares this week gun amnesty. Move is to remove illicit firearms and strengthen control. The Mirror wins National Tourism Award. Widen tax net to close revenue shortfall. PwC urges swift action. And that's the Daily Graphic today. The Chronicle is here this morning. It says that the new face of national security, no more intimidating Gota boys. And the COP, Abdullah Osman, actually captured over there as well, the National Security Coordinator. Now, Gold Board refutes reports of 3 billion Ghana cedis losses. And Asuna Dontin family announces 40-day observance for late Kofi Safo Siama. NPP diaspora executives insist on proxy voting. That's the Chronicle this morning. Away from that, let's go to the Accra Times. And it says post-budget workshop will equip MPs. Speaker Bagin says so. We are beyond criticism. That's Osahin Athenyo Markin. Speaking, and NPP executives hide behind a spineless neck decision to destroy the party. Professor Frimpong Boateng writes. And NPA marks 20th anniversary. Lawyer Godwin Tamaklo, the NPA boss, has been captured over there as well. And that's some details you can actually get when you get a copy of the Accra Times newspaper. The Ghanaian publisher is here, and it says that Jospon, unit partner to drive Africa's climate action. All eyes on Joe Wise as NPP external officers seek proxy voting. And also, God will judge you. Another prayer to Finance Minister, 10 million Tata with. And if you listen to the the voice of that God will judge you. It's really, really funny when you listen to the voice and the way he said that God will judge you. Anyway, the new finder is here, and the new finder says October trading record strong value growth, and despite slower volumes on GSE, KPMG calls for stronger economic buffers to deepen stability, and POG governor outlines vision to strengthen the city at 60th anniversary conference. Africa must act decisively to address unemployment and strengthen intra-continental trade. Economist says so, and that's the new finder. The very last one for me this morning will be the Daily Gist, and it says Ofori Atta 7 others face 78 counts in court for 1.4 billion Ghana cedis financial loss, and former transport minister. Of course, that's one of the issues that we're taking a look at this morning. It's one of the first topic that we'll be looking at. So you can send your messages to us and let us know what you think about that as well. Former Transport Minister family sets December 12 for 40-day observance of late father. An NPP faces internal fight over proxy voting in presidential primaries. Minority exposes finance minister's hypocrisy on $10.4 million tax waiver to Indian firm. And I will sign anti-gay bill, Mahama says so. NPP returns fire on Frimpong Boateng and Ransford. Champo opens Pandora's box over sex affairs at Legon. That's also some issues that are making rounds on the front page of the Daily Gist. Kpebu reclaims Abene Palace after court reversal of unlawful disturbances, and that's also another issue. If you've seen some of the videos that are going around and how the chief was treated and all of that, I think sometimes when you look at some of these things, you ask yourself a lot of questions, but we hope that they are able to resolve some of these issues so that we all move on as a people. Anyway, that's all we have for the newspapers. Let's move on and have our conversation. You can send us your messages. I'll be telling you some of the good things that are happening this December as far as Joy FM is concerned. Of course, Joy Prime is concerned as well. I'll be sharing all of those with you here on the show. But this morning I've been joined in studio by my brother, Mr. Richard Suma. He's Deputy General Secretary for the United Party, and now it's a full-fledged party, and I guess they're doing pretty well. Rich, all good?
Yeah, all good.
Good to see you.
I didn't know you are in Ghana.
I love your suit.
KMG, what brought you back to Ghana?
Well,
you like the heat?
Forgotten country.
Yo.
Oh, no, that's what they say.
Welcome to the heat.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I couldn't deal with the cold as well, so I had to just leave the place. Anyway, Dr. Samuel Ayer is here with me this morning as well as presidential aide, and he is also a family here. He's not been around for a while, but we miss him. Doc, how are you?
By God's grace, we are fine. I miss you guys too. I'm happy to be here to also contribute to various issues making headlines. And so I'm pretty happy to be here this morning.
Great. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you. And also joining us this morning, brother Mr. Senyor Ameklenu is here with me. And some of you don't know that he's, what's the other one?
Which one?
The other names. Add all of them.
Let's leave those ones.
No, I'm going to do it before I'll add those ones.
I beg don't.
Troublemaker. And his communications team member for the NPP also joining us this morning as well. So thank you so much for the time. And we'll also be joined by Mr. Lawyer Martin Kpebu, who will be joining us via Zoom. He's a legal practitioner, a private legal practitioner. And Sadiq Musa will also be joining us a bit later on the other conversation. But let's take a look at the OSP and the back and forth over the period with the Ofori Atta and 7 others. Now, what everybody kept saying was, when are we going to charge them to court? I mean, the press conferences, the name callings, we're going to bring him down and all of those things. Can we just leave that space and eventually put him to court so he goes to answer questions over there? I'll start with you, Senor. Did you see the OSP coming out quickly, especially when we have, over the period, asked him to just go ahead and proceed to court so that he can come and answer questions to all the crimes? 78 counts.
Well, KMJ, a very good morning to you and good morning to my colleagues. It's been a while seeing you, and I'm glad to see you. My brother just asked that, why do you decide to come back into the heat? And then organization or environment, everybody will want to know why you would prefer to be in the heat than to be in the code, because when you're in the code, you manage that place.
So let me interest you a bit. The last time that I came back and somebody said this, do you know what another person said? Another person standing next to the person said,
well,
because
so you are okay with the heat, right? That's okay.
I didn't say it. Someone else said that, oh, he came back because Abba Papa.
I see.
I don't know how true that is.
So does that mean you came back because Abba Papa?
I didn't say it.
No, so do you agree with the person? Do you agree with the person? Do you agree with
Those were not my statements, so I don't know whether to agree or disagree.
Anyway. So just to go straight to your point, but before that, again, let me say a very good morning to my people in the Volta region listening to me or watching me this morning, and the leadership of our party. I want to say a very good morning to them, and the commanders on the ground who are doing fantastic job in the region and making sure that they cross the T's and then dot the I's in the region as far as this government is concerned, in terms of making sure that the promises they made to them in terms of giving them jobs, which has virtually been converted into making sure that they become road contractors and also asphalting roads. So they are doing well, pretty well in the region. They are crying as well because they keep wondering that, of course, this government promised us so much in terms of job, but today we are being thrown to, be, road laborers and all of that. This isn't what they promised us, but I think we'll go into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Now, to hit directly into your main question that was asked. When you asked me, I will tell you that, of course, I am happy that the OSP has been able to, come out clear this time around. Because initially, he was being more of a theatrics person than somebody whom we expected him to be. And as of yesterday, having listened to the airwaves to know what is going on as far as the charging is concerned, I think quite a number of people are comfortable with the fact that for the first time he's been able to come very clear to charge the former finance minister and the other 7 people. Now, what I am not sure of, having listened to the lawyer of Honorable Ken
Frank Davis.
Yeah, Frank Davis yesterday, is that as it stands now, I am reliably aware that the former finance minister has not been officially served.
Yeah, the lawyer mentioned that.
Yeah, has not been officially served. So that again becomes a bit of a worry to me. But again, the law has its own ways, just as others will tell you that the law is the law. So we would want to keep an eye on this case very closely and see what will unfold. But one thing that will interest you is that the OSP should not think that charging them, calling them names, and all of that is a form of saying that you can be crucified. They would have to go to the courtroom to prove their point as to whether indeed they are guilty or not. For now, it's been alleged or they are being accused. So they need to prove their case as to whether indeed the things they are being accused of stands tall or not, without, going through the cantata display and things that we've been seeing over some months now. So I will be waiting patiently, and I'll keep an eye on this case because I think that the former finance minister has been in the news for a while now, as far as the issue between him and the
OSP.
The OSP is concerned. And a lot of people are also interested in this case because they want to know the outcome of the case.
Yeah.
But like his lawyer said, personally behind the scene, the man I think that he's not scared. He's not perturbed. He's not worried. But I also think that I will not condone anyone who has wronged the state. If the state finds you guilty and there is enough evidence to prove that you are guilty and they go through the processes and you are guilty, why not? The law should have it. So I'll be waiting patiently again, like I said, to see to it that the fight between the OSP, Ken, and the other 7 people goes through the legal process for us to see at the end of the day, who wins the battle. So it's going to be an interesting show. Let's sit, relax, and watch it.
Okay. Let me take the thoughts of Doc. Doc.
Yes. Thank you very much. Good morning to our viewers. As well, good morning to my co-panelists and your good self. I am elated that we have come this far, even though it's been long overdue, but they say that it is better late than never. I was expecting that these charges were filed many months ago when all these press conferences and declaration of Ofori Atta as fugitive of justice, withdrawal and what have you. I was expecting that would happen much earlier. Because at the end of the day, our point has been proven that indeed you can start prosecution in absentia. And that is exactly what has happened. At the very least, the people of Ghana can heave a sigh of relief and say that all the suspicions that the people of Ghana had, the feet of Ofori Atta and these other people will be held to the fire of accountability so that the people of Ghana can get some explanations into some of the issues that were contentious. Indeed, as far as the SML deal is concerned, on the face of it, any objective-minded person who loves this country will know there are some questions to be answered. How is it that a company that was incorporated just about 2 weeks when the new government came suddenly got the capacity to deal in huge contract sums? This company initially, we know, had connections to some members of the government, some financiers of the government at the time. We also know that initially when they started the application, the Public Procurement Authority actually denied them the clearance. Some way, somehow, they managed to surreptitiously find a way of getting involved without the necessary PPE approval, without the necessary parliamentary approval for all these huge amounts of monies to be paid to them without any justification. Indeed, the company themselves, well, I don't know whether it was the general manager or what have you, actually was on camera saying that the job that they have been given to do by government, they themselves do not have the capacity to actually do it. That the state institution at the time, the GRA, their ICOM system and what have you, had superior sophistication to carry out the work more than their outfit. So how then do you award such a contract to a company like that and all this money is paid to them when there is no evidence of work done? And so I'm happy about this outcome, and I know that some questions will be answered. But on a personal note, this is my personal rendition. I think that there's some foul play and connection work going on between the OSP and all the matters, or most of the matters that he has taken up. Today, we know that 8 people have been charged. 78 counts have been given. How long do you think, in your honest opinion, will it take for these 78 counts to be investigated, to be interrogated? As I sit here, looking at the track record we have had in our system, it will take more than 20 years for this to be done.
And who is behind this?
This is a
OSP
calculated attempt.
Between the
This is my personal opinion. This is a calculated attempt to make sure that these people are left off the hook.
And why would the OSP do that? He's supposed to be working for the interest of the country.
It is a question that he alone can answer. Because I don't know where the sloppiness is coming from. That today we have to take several months for charges to be filed, and when the charges are filed, over 78 of them, how can these charges be substantiated between a limited time frame? You understand the point I'm making? So it does appear to me that it is an agenda for him to pick and take over cases that Attorney General and other states and agencies can take over and then actually run them. for it to be substantiated in court, for results to be had. Look at the Paul Adumotre matter. Where is it now? A company, he was a board chairman for a company, for a state institution. The state institution gave a contract to an entity. Before we could blink an eye, the board chairman, which is Paul Adumotre, has been accused to have brought another company that is not in the books of the Ghana Airport Company, that is not known to the company, to come execute the contract that has been given to another person. There was this fanfare and pomp and pageantry about his arrest and about his detention. Today,
they say they're still investigating.
How far has it gone? There's no results. Look at the Kissi Agyebeng matter. When the matter came, he came and told the whole country that he thinks that there's a need for Madam Kissi Agyebeng's account to be frozen. According to the act that sets the OSP up, he has to take 7 days to be able to apply for an order from the court to get assets frozen. He took more than 2 weeks. When he went, the judge told him that according to your acts, the time has elapsed for you to get an order to freeze the assets. Why would you wait for 2 weeks before you just write just a simple application letter for assets to be frozen? Today, what has happened to the Kissi Agyebeng matter? We don't know the head and tail of the matter. We don't know where the case is going. Another case that has been spot. Look at the Charles BCU matter. What is the result? The Mustafa Hamid matter. Today, as we speak, we are told that the OSP went to the court again for the charges to be withdrawn and what have you. You understand the point I'm making? These are significant cases that we think that the people of Ghana could have gotten some results from it. He manages, quickly goes to touch it so that the Attorney General Department cannot touch it, because there is this phenomenon of double jeopardy. When he touches the case, he presents weak cases, goes to the court, he loses the cases, and the Attorney General cannot touch it, because the claim is that another state institution has tried it and the Attorney General cannot take it up. It will lead to what you call double jeopardy. You understand the point I'm making? So I see some pieces in play where an agenda is being set to allow all these folks to go. I heard the PRO or corporate affairs or what have you, Sameda Esquire saying that they have secured 7 convictions. When you get small cases where people have, done ghost names and what have you, some small amounts have been recouped, and you think that is the reason why substantial amount of monies have been allocated to the Office of Special Prosecutor, and for which reason you want the people of Ghana to clap for you. You understand? That is not the reason why that office was set up. You understand? And so I think that even though what we all wanted, that cases are supposed to be filed in court, the cases have been filed, but I think that
you're still not satisfied.
I'm not satisfied. There is a grand agenda to exonerate.
Is that something the government is looking at?
That's why
in the future we want to be looking.
That's why I said it is my personal opinion. I believe that there's, the Attorney General Department, His Excellency the President, his leadership, he has advisors and what have you. I think that if the president is so interested, I cannot second guess the president. If the president thinks that at a point in time there is some need for a review of the work of the OSP, that can be done. But
some Ghanaians still going to get there. Some Ghanaians believe
and I
get to a point where we're going to be.
Yes, and I agree with them. I think that he has not been forthcoming. The agenda and the excuses and mounting of some barriers is too much. And I don't think that we can continue on this path. I am very disappointed in the work of the OSP. And he seems to be complaining too much. When Matiamidu came and there were issues, he made the country know that these people were hampering him, and for that reason, he cannot be in the position again. Today, we cannot see that level of commitment as far as lawyer Kissi Agyebeng is concerned. And I think that we need to take a look at it. There's an agenda going on to free some of these officials who, in my personal opinion, I think that they have questions to answer, and some monies have to be recouped. And what? In fact, on the SML deal alone, on the face of it, no PP approval, no parliamentary approval, even in international transactions and some transactions where work has actually been done, because there was no parliamentary approval, there was no PP approval, courts have ordered refund of some monies. How much more a company that themselves tell us that they have not really been able to do any work for the country. So I think that much need to be done. And I'm not impressed about the work so far.
Okay, all right. So I'll come back to you. So for the purposes of our viewers out there, let me just go through quickly some of the counts that has been put before them. One of them is core allegations and the criminal enterprise, and it says that prosecution alleges a long-running conspiracy described as a criminal enterprise from 2017 to 2024 designed to illegally award lucrative government contracts to SML. The key facets of this enterprise were illegal procurement. The awarding of contracts to SML through the single source method without the legally required prior approval from the Public Procurement Authority Board, and for larger contracts, Parliament. False pretenses, securing contracts based on willful misrepresentations about SML's capabilities, including false claims about its technical expertise, financial backing, and ownership of proprietary technology from a multinational partner. They also have abuse of power, which they say is public officials corruptly using their positions for the private profit of SML and its owner, Evans Adusei. And these are some of the charges that were put before them. And they were also stated a potential future loss of what, happened with regards to that. Let me have it quickly and then I'll move on.
Yeah, it's not much of a rebuttal, but just to ask my brother a question. I'm okay with his submission and then his personal point as well. But I want to ask Sammy, is that to say that he does not trust in the legal process? Because if for nothing at all, we should be comfortable with the fact that it's going through a competent court of jurisdiction. I'm saying that because his submission or his last submission seems to be in alignment with Martin Kpebu's point that he has always been, pushing harder. Because yesterday I've listened to him again, and he is towing the same lane as Martin Kpebu has been doing. So I want to ask, is that to say that he does not trust in the judicial process, that even though he has been, charged, the court will not do a good job? Is that what it means? Because we are aware that just 2 days ago, a new Chief Justice has been, sworn in, and he is going to empanel people as far as the courts are concerned, or is going to, make sure that things are done in the right process. And he has said that he will be firm in making sure that things goes well. So I want to just ask, is it that he does not trust in the judicial process?
Doc, is that what you're trying to imply?
I'm finding it difficult to get a nexus between me towing a line of somebody and its consequences on judicial confidence. I'm finding it difficult to understand the question.
It's just the office that you believe that has not been able to execute the way we expected.
Of course, that's all.
To do.
That's my
but not the courts. The courts.
No. But the point I'm trying to make is that 78 counts. We know how there are systemic difficulties in our system. Lawyers putting in place structures to delay process.
But don't you think this is a public interest and they might expedite it in a way?
There have been a lot of public interest.
We don't have a drag like
there have been a lot of public interest cases in this country. This is not the first.
But comparing this to the others, you don't think?
I'm saying that 78 counts. 78. By the time we run through all of them,
we'll be going about 2 or 3 years.
You say 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Anyway, Rich, I'll come to you, but we've been joined by lawyer Martin Kpebu. He's a private legal practitioner. Let's speak to him briefly, and then we'll get back to you in studio. Lawyer, good morning, and thanks for joining us this morning. I'm grateful. Hello, lawyer, can you hear me? Okay, all right. So let me take the thoughts of Richard. Richard.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, I would like to say a very good morning to yourself. In fact, this platform has been quite dull, but since we got back and seeing you and how flashy you are looking this morning, surrounded with gold. I've never seen a gold rosary. This is the first time I've seen a gold-colored rosary, and that tells me I'm really dealing with KMJ this morning. So, in fact, you're looking
I've
good.
got a couple of them.
Yeah. You look, and you are demonstrating that you are truly from Gold Coast. Yes. And to say good morning to my senior brothers and dogs.
Rich, I'll interrupt you again.
Oh, no problem.
Please keep your thought for me. Let me try and then connect with lawyer Martin Kpebu again. Lawyer, if you can hear me, good morning. I'm grateful for your time this morning.
Yes, good morning.
Okay, I think we have some echo with this sound, but we'll try and see how we can manage that. But are we supposed to be rejoicing now? Finally, we're heading to courts.
Not at all.
Oh, hello? Okay, lawyer, we have an issue with your sound. We want to correct that so that we'll get back to you. So please stay on for me. We'll get that resolved and then we'll come back to you shortly. Rich.
Yeah. So never mind. It's part of the business. To say good morning to the people of Whole Central, to the membership and the entire leadership of the new baby on the block. I'm sure you weren't around when we actually.
No, but I saw images of the beautiful thing.
United Party is the new baby on the block, and so far a lot of people are showing goodwill towards us. We've been able to put our regional structures together. We're now zeroing into the constituency level because you see, democracy and governance and building a country is a collective responsibility of all and sundry. We cannot leave this country to MPP, NDC to have absolute control and to have that absolute dominance, to let them feel like they are above reproach and they are above any form of criticism, and they are the repository of wisdom and knowledge, and therefore no other political party can put their house in order, galvanize their base, and be able to dislodge any of them. You understand? Because they were, most of the political parties that exist today, they didn't want us independence. They all came after independence, so they cannot tell me they have any vested interest and they cannot be dislodged. If you don't do your things well, Ghanaians are watching you with open eyes and they are looking for an alternative. Therefore, we are believing that we want to position ourselves well as a party of interest, as a party of choice, devoid of acrimony, devoid of all manner of things that we have been able to do to muddy the political space in this country. We want to move away from that status quo. So on that note of the UP, that's a brief I want to welcome you with, since you weren't around when we launched the party.
We're happy. We're happy that you people are getting stronger and stronger. I think it's as a democracy, in a democratic country. This is some of the things.
Senor will not be happy to hear you say we are getting stronger. But for NDC, they don't really have any problem with us because they believe in competent opposition. They believe in a strong opposition. They want to be held to the fire of accountability. They don't want to have that open space where they will do things without anybody watching them. So when you criticize them, they take it in good faith.
Okay.
It is only MPP, when you speak truth to power, they are not ready to accept any form of criticism because they believe that they are the champions of democracy. They have the legal brains. They are the legal luminaries. They have all the knowledge. But when we give them power, they move the country into complete abyss.
Okay.
So they should be careful. Ghanaians are watching them with keen eyes. On this issue of the OSP, I have always advocated that we should scrap that office off entirely. It is of no use. It's just wastage of government resources.
Really?
Yes, because in this country, who is actually fighting corruption? Tell me. We have multiplicity of state agencies who are mandated to be fighting the same corruption. That is why we are not going anywhere. You see, in America, for instance, we know they have various security agencies who does various things. But when it comes to investigation, no matter what challenges other agencies face, the top-notch institution that handles investigation is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, straightforward. Ghana, we have the BNI. We call them the NIB, National Bureau of National Investigation Bureau. We have IOCO. We have the Attorney General, that's the state prosecutor. We have Office of the Special Prosecutor. We have Shiraj. We have all manner of agencies. We have the CID department, Criminal Investigation Department. We have all manner of agencies that are fighting corruption. That is why we are not making headway as far as the fight against corruption is concerned. Because my brother mentioned about the Kissi Agyebeng case. Kissi Agyebeng case, wasn't it being handled first of all by the OSP? All of a sudden, we were told that the issue surrounding Kissi Agyebeng case is not within our domain. Therefore, we have been able to transfer that docket to Office of the Economic and Organized Crime Unit. Up to now, what are we seeing about that? And the reason why we are also not winning the fight against corruption, I keep saying it anytime I get opportunity, that we need to amend the law that says that the burden of proof is on the state. Because if I accuse you that you have stolen so much, and you are living ostentatious lifestyle, therefore I believe that you are undergoing or you are involved in some corruption-related activity. That's why you are making your income. Prove to me where you get the money from. The burden of proof, that's how the Chinese are doing it. The burden of proof must be on the accused, not the accuser. Kissi Agyebeng case, because we lost it completely, because the burden of proof is on the state. And the state couldn't justify, they couldn't prove beyond any unreasonable doubt that the money under Cecilia Agyebeng's bed and so forth, she got it illegitimately. Are you getting the point? Mm-hmm. And there are several other cases that the burden, in this case of the Ofori Atta today, the burden of proof again goes to the state. That you need to prove beyond all unreasonable doubt that Ofori Atta was actually involved in these things that you are charging him for.
Isn't the state in the best capacity to be able to do that because they have all the machinery?
That's what I'm saying.
Every other thing that we
know the burden of proof in China. If you really want to win the war against corruption, or your citizens are living ostentatious lifestyle, you want to do what we call the lifestyle audit. You want to find out how. It is not about me to prove. It is about you to prove to me how you got your money. Mm. Are you getting my point? Mm. So, for instance, if you look at the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the hula baloo surrounding Ofori Atta, this issue has been ongoing for several years. Yeah. And we all have agreed that the SML deal was actually inappropriate. I believe in institutional capacity. I believe that state-owned institutions or the Ghanaian who are mandated to man all these state institutions should have the tenacity, should have the integrity, should have what it takes to be able to drive their institutions, deploy all innovative means of enhancing their performance. So if you are talking about enhancing revenue generation or revenue mobilization, why do you need a third party in the first place? And the third party that you have deployed, what device, what technology, how much have they invested, how much did they bring on the table? How much did SML brought on the table before you gave them that deal? And don't forget that already with that job done, per their own statement, suggest that already they've been paid 1.2 billion cedis for no work done. Do you know, when we get to the budget issue, I'll give you a specific analysis about what 1.2 billion could have been used to do. So I believe sincerely that what my brother is saying, the OSP is playing to the gallery. They are trying to hoodwink us into believing that they are actually taking this bold step to do what? To charge Ofori Atta, prosecute him, then if eventually they get judgment, and the judgment is passed in absentia, and he has been found convicted of the crimes against him, how are we going to bring him back?
He intends to do that. He's mentioned that he's going to use every
we were in this country. I want to play the devil's advocate. Where is the Sedinam Tamaklo case as we speak today? Was Sedinam Tamaklo not judged in absentia? Have we been able to extradite her to Ghana so far? Is she not enjoying the code in America? Why is the money that was meant to be given to the small and medium enterprises, she took it in Ghana must go and spent it as if there was no tomorrow? What, have we been able to bring her back to this country to come and join Agrada at the prisons? Zero. So I am still of the view that even if we secure judgment in absentia for Ofori Atta, it will still amount to what? To nothing. So I am still of the view that if we think that the Bureau of National Investigation or National Investigation Bureau is our primus inter pares when it comes to the institution mandated to deploy all manner of technology and intelligence to investigate any corruption-related cases, they have to be equipped sufficiently to do this work. Then when they do their work, their findings, they will now submit it to the Attorney General. Then Attorney General would then not proceed with what? Prosecution. So if you are allowing the Office of the Special Prosecutor to now become an obstacle
that's what it seems to be.
Yes, it becomes.
What does the OSP seek to gain with this? If he intends that,
you know, there's a lot of quid pro quo activities happening in the Ghanaian political system. People are doing things and getting favors from behind the scene.
Including
look, that is our nature. That is our political playbook that we are playing and using in this country. Because you rob my back, I rob your back. And whoever appoints you into certain position is becoming more like you owe them an allegiance. And don't forget that Nana Akufo-Addo, respectively, who instituted the Office of the Special Prosecutor and put in Martin Amidou, the revered Martin Amidou, didn't Martin Amidou resign because of some of the things that he realized that the Office of the Special Prosecutor is becoming more of a white elephant, that there is not serving any purpose, and the people who instituted the Office of the Special Prosecutor, they themselves are more gullible. They themselves are more deeply involved in the corruption. Therefore, what is the significance of the office of the special prosecutor? And you see, Agyebeng, there is no, unemployment is a big issue in this country. So he himself too, he knows very well that as a lawyer, is he not driving a bulletproof car now?
He says that he was doing well before he even...
You can be doing well, but when you are enjoying the state resources, it is different from when you are doing you are practicing as a private legal lawyer.
Okay, all right. Hold on that thought for me.
I've not finished you.
No, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Let me. A lawyer would be leaving us, so let me just engage him, and then when we are done, I'll come back to you. Lawyer, if you can hear me, thanks once again for staying with us. Hello, lawyer, can you hear me? I think we're still having the same issue, but let's see how we can resolve that. Lawyer Martin Kpebu, can you hear me, please?
No.
Okay, I think it's a struggle, but we'll get resolved.
Yeah. So KMG, just about a minute or two, so that we can look at the
wrap up for me.
So if you look at the issue carefully, let us do this analysis devoid of politics.
So you think we should just take that office off?
That office is serving as no purpose. It's actually serving as no purpose. Because look, let me tell you, if the office has been in existence since how many years now?
It's been more than 6 years.
It's been more than 6 years. How much have they been able to recoup for us? How many cases have they been able to prosecute? They will tell you that they are working on certain cases, but they are not finding headway. That is why I'm telling you that if it comes to investigating corruption, state corruption, we should let it be the core responsibility of the NIB. And then they will be able to deploy all their intelligence to be able to investigate any issue related to corruption. Then after that, since they may not do the prosecution, then they hand over the documents to what? Attorney General for prosecution. Were we not here when Attorney General asked OSP to submit the docket related to Ofori Atta, and he said he wants to handle the case himself? So if you are...
Well, he said that he had to get to a certain point and then he handed over.
In this case, let us just tackle that and find out that the office of the Attorney General and the office of the Special Prosecutor, which one is triggered or is embedded in the Constitution?
Well, then you'll be looking at the Attorney General's office.
Which one is embedded? Which one has constitutional powers embedded and enshrined in the Constitution for prosecution? Is the Attorney General.
He will be doing that because he...
So when you want to put Attorney General's office and the office of the OSP on the same scale, the Attorney General's office is way above that of the office of the Special Prosecutor.
Okay, let me go back to Lawyer Martin Kpebu, and I understand that he's on phone. He's joining us on phone right now. Lawyer, if you can hear me, thanks for the time and thanks for staying with us.
Yes, okay. Good morning, KM.
Good morning, good morning. The Zoom will not permit us, but let's do it this way. Earlier, I was asking that this is the time for Ghanaians to be now satisfied and rejoice. At least we're heading towards the courts.
No, not at all. We have to be very careful. I cannot trust these charges that have been filed because, you see, the moment Kissi Agyebeng sat and allowed Ofori Atta to flee this country, that was the moment that he should have quit that office. So, and you know, he himself confirmed it in the interview with KSM, that he intercepted a letter Ofori Atta wrote that he's about to leave Ghana, and Kissi Agyebeng went to NIB, didn't get help, National Security didn't get help. But in any event, I've talked to some of the former heads of NIB. They say they never saw any letter from Kissi Agyebeng. So that in itself, and you know, I have stated that I'm preparing a petition for Kissi Agyebeng's removal. That's one of the questions Kissi Agyebeng will have to answer. I have a witness who would have seen that letter, and he's saying that he never saw anything from Kissi Agyebeng. He even says he doesn't know Kissi Agyebeng. So the key thing is that Kissi Agyebeng worked for Ofori Atta, you see, and worked for Gabi Otridako. Gabi Otridako and Ofori Atta are related. And both of them are related to Akufo-Addo. So you can't trust Kissi Agyebeng to prosecute such a case. Oh, can you imagine, Kenny? Can you imagine? Our chief prosecutor says he saw the letter Ofori Atta wrote saying that he's leaving Ghana. And then Kissi Agyebeng goes to this. He says he's alleging, because as I said, the NIB people are denying. Kissi Agyebeng has to bring further and better particulars how he could have gone to NIB when the boss says he doesn't know anything about this thing. And Kissi Agyebeng allows Ofori Atta to flee. and you think Kissi Agyebeng will file any proper charges, it's a ruse. So this is a half-hearted and half-baked prosecution. Half-hearted and half-baked is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Let Kissi Agyebeng step aside. Let's have new management. Kissi Agyebeng and his right-hand man. Okay? Yes, Albert Akubu, who was working for GRA at the time West Blue was in charge. So he has a relationship with West Blue, all right? And at the interrogation, right now as we speak, there's a petition as charged against Kissi Agyebeng and Albert Akubu, the director at OSP in charge of asset recovery and management. There's a petition against them in the way this case was investigated, saying that Albert had told Krenzel and Co. that he has a personal interest in this SML matter. When the prosecutor says so, yes, they should go and clear their names. Let's not put them in charge of this case. Both Kissi Agyebeng and Albert have to step aside. They shouldn't have anything to do with this prosecution because I'm afraid it's a ruse to allow these guys to win the case. And I'll show you one thing that tells you that there's a ruse. You see, when the Kissi Agyebeng matter came, long story short, Kissi Agyebeng said OSP has no mandate to do money laundering, right? Some of us disagreed, but he let the case go, and Kissi Agyebeng got the money back. Iyoko is now trying to reinvestigate. But my point is that in the current charges, Kissi is charging these guys for causing financial loss. Who says causing financial loss is part of the OSC's mandate? What has changed between the time the Kissi Agyebeng case came and this current Ofori Atta case? What has changed? Kissi should have gone to court first to test the interpretation that, if I'm investigating corruption and corruption-related offenses and I see money laundering and I see financial loss, can I add them? So go to the court separately. Don't use anybody to gamble. Then let the court interpret. So if the court say, yes, add money laundering, add financial loss, then you do. When it came to Kissi Agyebeng, Kissi was not willing to prosecute because he said they have no mandate. Then a year and a half, 2 years on, now he says for Ofori Atta and these people, he wants to do causing financial loss. It's a ruse to allow them to escape. So let Kissi Agyebeng step aside. He hasn't shown any court judgment that says that he can do causing financial loss, which is not part of the OSP mandate. That causing financial loss, that's section 179 of the Act 30, is for the Attorney General. Kissi Agyebeng should show us any court decision that says that OSP can prosecute causing financial loss. He should show us that court decision first. Otherwise, we cannot go and gamble. No. This is a gamble. Just as he was not willing to gamble in the Kissi Agyebeng case, because at that time, Akufo-Addo was in office and he didn't want to fight corruption. He was pretending to fight, and he himself has now he has exposed himself. He should not now attempt to do causing financial loss so that the people will escape. That one will make him a double agent. Means he's working for the other side and pretending to work for the people of Ghana. Working for both sides. No.
Lawyer Kpebu, as we speak right now, one other issue I want us to tackle is the fact that, according to Ofori Atta's lawyer, Frank Davis, the client has not even been served with this court charge that we've seen circulating on social media and on radio stations.
You see? Well, that's an issue we'll look at, because he has a point. Because you see, under the law, it is the case that before you start, you notify the person. You know, Ofori Atta came out to say that he will do Zoom calls, he will cooperate, etc. Kissi Agyebeng said no, he should come to Ghana. When did that change? Has he informed us that he's since been able to make Zoom calls with Ofori Atta, etc.? We need that disclosure. If that's not been done, then that's also another hurdle. It's also another very serious hurdle. So let's not rush it. I think he should step aside because of his relationship with Gadi Otredako, Akufo-Addo, and Ofori Atta himself. Kissi's relationship with them. And Kissi's look, I'm telling you, KME, for that singular fact that Kissi made, that when Ofori Atta was traveling, Kissi Agyebeng intercepted the letter. He saw that Ofori Atta is traveling. And he tells us that he was trying to stop the travel, went to these places, but the most effective or the most potent answer to this, informing the people of Ghana through a press conference, etc., eluded Kissi. That should tell you that Kissi can't handle this job. Kissi is not fit for this job at all. Look, even when there was precedent for such a situation. When Akufo-Addo was suffocating Martin Amidu, when he was suffocating Martin Amidu came out and said, hey, look, Akufo-Addo is all over the place interfering in my work. And you know, since then, this mother serpent of corruption name and all those things, they are stuck. You see how Akufo-Addo lost reputation. So in the same manner, if Kissi Agyebeng had told us that Ofori Atta is about to travel, do you know how many people would have gone to stay at the airport to make sure this thing will not happen? Look, even 30 minutes before departure, we could have stopped Ofori Atta. And don't forget, KME, at that time, I was on the ORA committee. ORA was working. And everybody knows that the moment elections are declared and an opposition party wins, meaning that the current government is going out, all the security chiefs, they begin to listen more to the incoming president. So Kissi didn't know that he should even inform President Mahama that candidate Mahama, at that time he was not president. Oral committee was there. All of us didn't see us free. Now he said he went to National Security. He went to NIB. NIB is denying it. And the moment NIB is denying it, you know that this alone is sufficient to take Kissi out of office.
Okay.
Because NIB is denying. He must come out with further and better particulars, which arrest warrants the Kissi Agyebeng present to the NIB boss at the time. And the NIB boss said, no, he will not arrest Ofori Atta. Where is that arrest warrant? Or where is that formal communication that arrest Ofori Atta for me? Where? Until that, Kissi has to leave that office.
All right. Now, lawyer, talking about he leaving that office. Now, you said you want to write a petition for his removal. How long are we going to have that, process go? And who takes over all of these cases that we want to see, going to court and having it dealt with as soon as possible?
Well, these cases, there are other directors in the OSC. There is Basin Saleh. No, the director of prosecutions is there. He's called Tufuo.
Office and let
Dr. Isidore Tufuo. And then there is a deputy OSC. So hand over to Cynthia Lumo. So I said, not Lumo. Cynthia, I've forgotten the spelling. Right? Yes.
So lawyer, you still insist that we should keep that office?
Oh, yes. Yes. That's the right. When my was he does a high level of integrity. The only problem we have with Martin Amidu is why he chose to resign. So we can get the likes. There are still the likes of Martin Amidu in the system. People who exude a high level of integrity. Let's keep the office because the reason I say so is that, you see, when the bureaucracy is very huge, sometimes it is difficult to manage it. So if you centralize everything under one person, sometimes it's slow. So in economics, we call it division of labor. Division of labor is an old principle. It helps. So if we have multiple institutions and we have the right caliber of persons in there, it will be more work. But if you centralize everything under the Attorney General, boy, I think it's going to... The Attorney General is one human being. I know in Ghana... I think somebody mentioned, one of the panelists mentioned it, there's an issue of lack of jobs. So there are a lot of public officers who don't like to take initiatives. So no, everything, they want the boss to okay it. So when you centralize all the prosecutions and the Attorney General, it will become slow because some people will be scared to take initiative because they are thinking of their bread and butter. But when you have multiple institutions like this, so what I'm saying is that assuming 2,000, that's just for example, 2,000 prosecutors, all looking forward to the Attorney General to okay their work before they go to court. As against these 2,000, if you have 4 institutions, 500, so 4 people supervising this. So you see that each institution, the head has fewer people to supervise, 500 prosecutors. You see that it's likely to move faster than putting all the 2,000 under one person and a lot of people trying to read political meanings. If I issue this without the head okaying it, I'll lose my job. The head may not be okay with it. All those manner of things. looking over their shoulders, it's a big problem. So let's keep the institution, but let's just overhaul it.
You see, it's no more there.
On the board of OSP should have somebody like Martin Amidu come back. If we put Martin Amidu back on the board of the OSP, change the special prosecutor himself, change Albert Kpebu and Sami Daku, these three guys, then we can at least start an overhaul. Then the rest can stay, and then with the new people coming to add, we'll have a revamped OSP. We'll have a revamped office, but with what's happening.
Okay, lawyer, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your thought here on the show.
You're welcome.
And that was lawyer Martin Kpebu joining us this morning. He's a legal private practitioner. Let me. You didn't finish your okay. Land, and then we'll move on to. I'll take some few messages.
I'm still in the guy. Let me get So respectfully, the revered senior lawyer Martin Kpebu, he has been doing a lot of good work for Ghana over the years. But my challenge, and I still would like to maintain that yes, in as much as we may need multiple institutions, but the more institutions we have doing the same work, people get away with some of these issues. But I'm still saying that you don't need the Attorney General's office to do all the investigation. Somebody must do investigation. As big as the United States is, FBI is still responsible for serious matters that are related to crime and corruption. So if you can empower our NIB sufficient enough, okay, to be able to work, deploy a lot of national service personnel to them, deploy a lot of law students to them, deploy a lot of journalists to them who do a lot of undercover investigation and all these things, it augments their work. Once they find some prima facie case established within their investigation, they quickly submit it to the office of the Attorney General. Attorney General's office too must be expanded. So when the office is expanded, people can look at the various cases, the merits of the cases, and help work with the Attorney General to file those cases for what? Prosecution. Okay. That is why I'm still of the view that that office is becoming a white elephant office. Let us rather empower the ones that are enshrined by the Constitution and let them to do their way, because you see, the revered Martin said that there are many people in the OSP's office who can take over from Kissi Agyebeng, but don't forget that as human as we are, once you have not been getting the constitutional backing of the work you do, and because it is becoming problematic for you to do your job and make sure that you get it to the final conclusion, it may still bring a lot of challenges. Because don't forget, you can be the CEO today, but a lot of underhand operations will be working on you. If you are not careful, you cannot stand the heat, and then you also tow last line. The last point, if you look at the 6 or 7 people who have been accused in the SMLD, look at the funny thing, look at their ages.
70.
64, they are all above 60 years. Yes. They are our problem. They are our problem. These people who you believe that they are occupying various sensitive positions in their churches. Big men, all the names you hear, if you go to their church and the positions they occupy in these churches, you will be amazed.
We have reverend in them and all that.
Yes, we have these men who are supposed to be the agents of change, the agents who will be able to do things and bequeath that to the next generation and say that we work with integrity, we work fighting for the interests of the state. We did A, we did B, but the same 60 years and above people heading towards their retirement, they are looking for ways and means to enrich themselves. They have, but they're still not satisfied. They want to make more money and leave it for their generations unborn. That is why you check their ages very well. We are having problems. We should try to empower young people to fill in certain positions and check them and put them under checks and balance. The aged people are becoming problematic for this country, and they should watch themselves carefully.
All right, talking about the issue of young people, maybe we'll get into our next conversation, which has to do with the job creation and, the 2026 budget, what it seeks to do for young people who are in need of jobs. And yesterday, some of the conversations we had about the Elwax Stadium, I don't want to say disaster, but, incident, it was as a result of many young people who do not have jobs and want to, desperately get something doing for themselves. And so we're going to be looking into that. But let's say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Don't forget that News Flash is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. So, phones, Papa, and you can actually get your phones phones, your CCTV cameras, your laptops, if you want your big television screens, you can get the microwaves. You can get all of that when you go to Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise says they're running a 40% discount on items that you buy from us this Christmas season. It's just limited by days. And so please go ahead and walk into the branches as soon as possible. And you can actually also enjoy that 40% discount. You can go to www.francotrading.com, our website, and you can get all the info. Download the app, Google Play Store, and you have Franco Trading Enterprise in your hands. So you can check out the branches, you can check out the numbers, you can call us on, you can also check out some of the appliances and the new gadgets that we've brought as well, and you can make a purchase from us. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones, papa pafi. Now let's get into our next conversations. You can send your messages, please continue to send them. I'll try as much as possible to do them before we wrap it all up this morning. So yes, I know I haven't read your messages yet, but we'll do that. So please continue to bring them in. We'll take a look at them. Sammy, I'll start with you.
Yes, sir.
The finance minister says that we're looking at about 800,000 new jobs.
Yes.
He mentioned the big push and all of that.
Yes.
The boys are still not getting the jobs on the ground.
Thank you very much. I think that the finance minister's budget has been widely accepted, even by members of the opposition. I listened to a member of parliament for NCI, so the Honorable Stephen Amma, former Minister for Finance, commended the finance minister for the good work. So you've heard comments from civil society organizations, journalists like you, senior lecturers and what have you, about how, remarkable the budget is from the recovery from 2025 to spurring growth in 2026 and other subsequent years. I think that there are several initiatives in the budget that is one, first of all, boosting small businesses. I can make mention of the intention to abolish the 1% COVID-19 levy, which brought untold discomfort to many businesses and even ordinary Ghanaians who go to purchase items. It's good for the people of Ghana. We have also we intend to reduce VAT from 21.9% to 20%. We all know how difficult it is for some companies to even, deal with their VAT issue. It is another very important improvement and initiative that government has brought. I don't know whether you have heard that government intends to increase the threshold for payment of VAT from 200,000 Ghana cedis for some companies to 750,000 cedis. It means that initially, if you were a company that makes about 200,000 Ghana cedis, you are required to pay some VAT, which brought some difficulties to some small and medium-scale companies. Now, the finance minister and the government has intended to increase that threshold to 750,000 so that we can create the necessary room for small businesses to thrive.
Is that not what the minority is fighting in Parliament?
I've not heard.
Okay, so I'm thinking that should be the tax waiver or something.
Sure,
the minorities.
No. That is completely different. Now, for the job creation aspects, the government, as part of our plans to roll out the 24 hours economy, you know that one of the pillars of that program was agriculture, agro-processing, and agribusiness. Indeed, we are investing $500 million, equivalent to 6.9 billion Ghana cedis, in oil palm plantation. We are planting about 100,000 hectares of oil palm, which will employ 250,000 Ghanaians. You know that one of the ways to deal with huge unemployment is commercialization of agriculture. And we think that we need to move from the peasant small-scale farming to commercial farming and agriculture that will increase our production, increase export, while creating many jobs for the people of Ghana.
So we're going to instill this into the youth.
Definitely.
And we're also hoping that when they are done cultivating all these products that we are mentioning, they'll be able to get people to buy them.
Definitely.
As we speak, rice, we have rice that are there and people are not buying them. I saw a video yesterday of sacks of rice packed in cars.
Indeed.
We're not enabling people, the people in a way that when they produce some of these products, they'll be able to get people to buy them.
Indeed. Before this issue came up, the president directed buffer stock to buy these products and whatever. Of course, they have been set up already to do that. But over the years, there have been some difficulties, financial difficulties and what have you. The president has directed them. The president directed the education ministry to also buy eggs, rice, and these things for various
local producers.
Yes, indeed. You know that government also intends to build 7 new processing plants across Bono East, Western, Central, and what have you, to process yam, fish, cashew, and what have you, to create over 7,000 jobs. Under the big push projects, we are investing about 30 billion Ghana cedi. We have already invested 13 billion, where we are looking at about 33 projects. One of the, iconic projects under the 30 billion big push project is the Accra-Kumasi Express Highway, which we are looking at creating about 30,000.
We're looking 3 years in time.
Yes, which we are looking at creating about 30,000 jobs. Government under the 24-hour economy initiative is also looking at boosting agriculture, manufacturing, logistics and services. We are looking at building about 3 garment factories across this country. I think Central, Eastern and Western North region, which we are looking at about 1.7 million jobs as far as the 24 hours economy is concerned.
I was about to ask that all this will be tied into the 24-hour economy.
Yes. Even in fact, we are in fact. I don't know whether you followed the Transport Minister's press briefing at the Jubilee House during the Government Accountability Series, where we are looking at expanding our water transport system and what have you over the Volta Lake. You understand? All these are supposed to augment government's plan to roll out the 24 hours economy. Indeed, there are many state institutions that have already started rolling it out. When you go to the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the Passport Office, Ghana Post Company is actually partnering with the Passport Office as I speak. Over 150,000 passports have been processed and delivered under the Passport Office's 24 hours economy.
But the people still expect that more should be done than that. I know DVLA has also started, but these are very
in fact,
small areas that have started. It's not like it is moving like the way the people expected that it was going to move.
In fact, because of the Ghana Post has employed thousands of young people because of this program. Indeed, there has been increased, delivery of the passports and whatever. When you have to increase delivery of passports, you need to definitely employ a number of people. I am a board member for Ghana Post, so I know what I'm talking about. And so when you go to Temaport, they have also actually launched their 24 hours economy.
And it's happening. It's happening.
Ghana Publishing Company and whatever. They are all doing a 24 hours economy system. But we are looking at a larger scale where, just like I mentioned, $500 million is being invested in oil palm plantation, the big push project, and what all these are being done to complement government's plan to roll out the 24 hours economy system. Rome was not built in a day. We are talking about a government that has been in power for only 11 months. But look at the strides that we have made as far as, easing hardships on the people of Ghana is concerned, putting in place measures to expand the economy, employ more Ghanaians. Do you know the number of people that the big push projects will employ? We made mention of over 30,000 jobs, direct and indirect jobs will be created. You understand? That is how governments, roll out employment schemes. We have done the Ejumera program. It is expected that at the end of the year, over 10,000 young people will be employed. Has that program not been launched? Yes.
Do we have those people being employed?
Definitely. I don't know. Have you not been following the Ejumera program?
Yeah,
many young people.
For us.
Yes, many young people have been commissioned.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. That have we reached the 10,000 people employment that we spoke about?
At the last count, about 10,000 of them were under training. You can engage the leadership of NEIP. We have also rolled out the National Apprenticeship Program by the National Youth Authority, where we are looking at supporting the young people in vocational training, those who want to sew, those who want to, carpentry and what have you. The National Apprenticeship Program has rolled out that program. You understand? Over 300 million budgetary allocation was made for that program. 1 million codes program. these young people are under training and what have you. Government has also put in place measures to ease the suffering of the people, increasing our purchasing power in terms of stabilizing the economy, strengthening our CD so that businesses can thrive and employ many young people. So as for government's initiative to create jobs, it is certainly not in that. Of course, the opposition will go about, putting in place all sorts of propaganda and criticism. It is allowed. That is why we have the opposition in place to checkmate government so that we can do the right thing. Except that sometimes the hypocrisy becomes too much when under their watch because of inflation alone, because of the debt exchange, DDP, domestic debt exchange program. The World Bank tells us that over 1 million Ghanaians went below the poverty line. You understand? That has not happened under this regime. You understand the point? So significant improvements have been held. Government has also made major budgetary allocations to key sectors of our economy. National Health Insurance Scheme, we have allocated over 401 million Ghana cedis for the implementation of National Women's Bank. Do you know the number of people who will be employed under the National Women's Bank program? You know that in our first year, when we made 58 million budgetary allocation, our seed fund for the National Women's Bank, there were all manner of criticisms from the opposition, from the MPP. Today, since we made 400 million budgetary allocation, all the noise have stopped because at the end of the day, we have 400 million, which meets the minimum capital requirements for the setting up of a bank.
Okay.
That program has been achieved. And there are many other programs that government has achieved.
All right, so
create jobs for the people of Ghana. So government is on track. President Mahama and his government is delivering on the promises that they made to the people of Ghana. I believe that at the end of the day, when our 4 years mandate has ended, the people of Ghana can do an introspective analysis. They can look at what we came to meet, what we have done, and what we seek to do, and how the interventions of the regime has benefited the people of Ghana. And I believe that they will come to the inevitable conclusion that the government of President John Dramani Mahama has delivered on a promise of creating jobs, bringing prosperity, and putting this country on the path of development.
All right. Thank you, Doc. Let me move on to Senor.
Thank you very much, KMJ.
You disagree?
Well, I think that when you listen to my brother Sammy speak, it tells you very clearly that he is not fully convinced, particularly on the promises they made to the good people of Ghana, most especially the youth, having known that he falls within that category. You could see from his posture, the manner in which he speaks, it tells you that he is not too much convinced about the budget. However, for the sake of the position he occupies, he needs to speak to fine-tune things well so that he can protect his bread and butter. So that is agreed. But again, let me say that indeed the 2026 budget seems to be a very bold and transformative document. However, I think that a critical analysis of it exposes the fact that the youth has been left behind, in the sense that it contains more of noise, fantasies, and pseudologia fantastica. These are the things that I think that the budget is made up of. Now, when I weigh the budgets, and I'll repeat again, the budget is full of pseudologia fantastica.
Meaning what?
Which means that it is full of pathological lies. And I'll come.
Has to be Greek?
Come again? It's an English word.
Okay, all right.
You can, I'll tell you
thanks
what.
for the education.
And I'll tell you what I mean by the budget is full of pseudologia fantastica. In terms of the NDC being full of lies, replacing governance with lies and deception. Now, we've been in this country. The NDC, in actual sense, if they are to say anything today, the youth are asking for jobs. And they are telling us today that the jobs will be replaced with bitumen and oil palm seedlings. That is what they are telling us. Meanwhile, when they were campaigning,
last year, they never told the youth of this country that you will be doing asphalting, where you'll be running 133. They never told the youth of this country that you would be doing oil palm plantation. What it clearly means is that during the 2024 election, we asked them if there is a blueprint to the document as far as the 24-hour economy is concerned. They could not produce any document. They were, moving here and there. This person says that, this person says this.
But on countless occasions.
Today, it is very evident that the NDC led by the President John Dramani Mahama gave hope to the youth without a foundation. That is what it means as far as the 24-hour economy is concerned. Now, why do I say this? A policy or program that you have, used as a mantra that brought you to government, one would have thought that your budgetary allocation would have been much enough to create enough jobs for the youth. But they failed us. What is the budgetary allocation? 110 million Ghana cedis? Is that enough?
It's not enough.
That is not enough. And when you look at page 173 of the abridged version of the document that was presented, it is very clear that even in provision of that allocation, the government is not clear as to the blueprint of the 24-hour economy, where we believe that indeed it's a good initiative that would have brought a lot of jobs to the youth, which you anchored on and came to government today. I watched you talk, and then they tried to give you all manner of excuses. Yesterday, I watched the ranking member on how do you call it? Government, I don't know, I've forgotten the committee, but that is Akachi South MP, Eric, the Akachi South MP. What he did, they asked him a question regarding the 24-hour economy. He was like, they don't have the data. As of now, they are trying to, make sure that they put things together. Yes, they have made budgetary allocation, but they will make sure that things are done. It tells you that the government itself, as it stands, they are not convinced about the policy, because a government that is convinced after forming a committee or putting a tax, giving a tax to Gusitano, who actually came out with a document and told you that that document, for us to have a full implementation of that budget or that 24-hour economy, you need $4 billion. Today, you are giving us 110 million Ghana cedis, which is just $10 million. That is not even, you can do your calculation. You can do your calculation, and it tells you clearly that this government has not really taken the youth at heart, because they don't have the foundation. They only spoke out of slogans because it will fetch them the jobs they wanted.
But it's not not doing anything at all if they decide that they want to.
It is still not enough.
You know that it's a progressive.
I think that it is not a matter of progressive. You don't come to power after you lured the youth. Let me tell you, I have done a retrospective assessment of one of the major anchors that brought the NDC to power was on job creation. Because when you look at the 24-hour economy alone, that can create massive job to the youth. Again, when you look at the Women's Bank, it can create massive job to the youth. But you don't come to power today and now be doing dilly-dally with us. We have that budgetary allocation is not implementation or execution. The youth are talking about real job. They are not talking about asphalting. They are not talking about labor job. That is not what you promised the youth of Ghana. Is that what they promised us? Today, the youth of this nation are crying that we want job. Then you listen to the finance minister speak. He will tell you that in the 2025 budget, I have made an allocation for Women's Bank of 50,000 million Ghana cedis, or 50 million Ghana cedis, which is a seed fund. Agreed. You've done the seed fund. We said that is not enough. Then you come back to us in the same year with your projections for 2026. Then you're making an allocation of 401 million Ghana cedis. And you're telling us that it's for expansion. Now, where are the banks? Where are the banks? Not even the secretariats, if for nothing at all. The seed fund alone should give us the secretariat of this bank. The Women's Bank.
You're making reference to the Women's Bank.
Exactly, the Women's Bank. I think that it only remains as a PowerPoint project. Very beautiful slide.
But there's been an allocation.
Hold on.
You think that after the allocation that has been made, they're still not going to make it?
The allocation in the budget is not enough. The Women's Bank mantra remains a beautiful PowerPoint project with beautiful slides, but empty execution as it stands today.
All right. Try and wrap up for me. Let me take Richard's.
One core thing again that we must understand is that the finance minister indicated to us that he cannot absorb the 150 nurses and teachers next year. That is what he said on CT. I watched him, and that is what he said. But the question I ask is that what happens to the presidential staffers, of which, of course, Sami is a beneficiary of, which in 2025 budget, you made an allocation of 362 million Ghana cedis in the 2025 budget. But in the 2026 budget, he's making a projection of over 500 million, which implies that there is a percentage increase of 67. And the difference is 178 million Ghana cedis, which tells you that the president takes priority when it comes to the presidential staffers, the journalists who he has employed, the CSO they have employed at the presidency. That is the pride of the president. He is interested in taking care of the NDC apparatchiks.
Where's the evidence of it?
He is interested in taking good care of the NDC apparatchiks that he has employed at the presidency, forgetting that the ordinary youth, the ordinary Ghanaians who are asking for a base pay, you give them a peanut of 9%.
Okay.
Is that enough?
All right. So wrap up for me.
Hold on. I'm wrapping up. Is that enough? It means that it's either the presidency will be doing an increment of salary for the presidential staffers, or there will be an additional recruitment of more people, where you could have absorbed the 150,000 nurses or teachers and give it to them. But you're telling us that you don't have enough funds. But for your kitchen cabinet where your things are cooked, you have funds to push them. Are you aware that the NDC in every constituency have recruited at least 10 people each as operatives of the national security? I have seen a letter from the voter region where the constituency is being asked to produce 10 members for national security operatives.
Okay.
What it means is that the NDC is not thinking about the ordinary youth, the ordinary Ghanaian that they lured, all in the name of Women's Bank that will be in every market, all in the name of 24-hour economy, where we will have Agenda 133. Today, it has not only turned to be a PowerPoint project, it is just a total metromaniac policy.
Richard.
Well, you see, first of all, I want to approach the budget in two folds. And sincerely, it beats my mind when the MPP fraternity create the impression that there is absolutely nothing good about the budget. You see, we have had all manner of Umpuntu budget, a Jumapa budget, a Jumara budget, a Humbrasi budget, a Huntop budget. All this manner of budget, what has it yielded? Zero. The unemployment is still gravely with us. And I would like to commend Atu Forson that the theme alone for the budget, which suggests that resetting for growth, job, and economic transformation, very good and beautiful. And then again, if you look at the manner in which he delivered the budget, he delivered the budget as somebody who is not trying to play on the mind of the people by doing all manner of dilly-dallies and quotations here, quotation there, making a total mockery of what we are trying to present to us. He was really on top of his job, so I'll commend him for that. And then again, the ability to discipline themselves in terms of putting some austerity measures in place to be able to mitigate the wastage, the loss, or the deliberate system that have been created for people to use as a conduit to siphon the state resources, he critically took a look at it and see how we can be able to mitigate or curtail it. If you look at the under declaration of our import value or import things that we bring to this country, he tried to do something about it. If you look at the quantum of money we spent, about $31 billion was paid for outside companies to deliver things to Ghana. The things never came. If you look at the amount of money that we paid to contractors for mobilization fee, and they never even moved one container to site, Atu Forson says he's no longer going to be paying companies or contractors mobilization fee. Once you have the contract as a contractor, you should be able to raise your own resources, start the project. The moment you tender in the certificate, your money will be paid to you. And then again, you look at some bold steps that they are trying to take, it is good. I cannot be sitting here and prejudice the budget. The budget is obviously not out of place. But sincerely, I have some few things that I would like to speak to, which I identify as some lapses in our budget, if really we are talking about growth. Now, if you want to talk about growth, which aspect of your economy should be the catalyst for growth? The aspect of your economy which should be a catalyst for growth is industries. And industries is made up of manufacturing and services. But in Ghana, you realize that services grew almost about 8.8%, but manufacturing grew about 3.2%. Then that should tell you that we are building an economy that we are totally over-depending on the gold that we export and the revenue that it brings, the cocoa that we sell and the revenue that it brings, the oil that we sell and the revenue that it brings, our import duty taxes, corporate taxes. These are the 3 or 4 or 5 revenue streams that the country has. Apart from that, we are not doing much in terms of how we can capitalize our SMEs and capitalize people within the entrepreneurship space. Are you with me? Now, if you look at the budget critically, NDC is talking about growing this economy and creating sufficient jobs. Where is the job going to come from? The job can only come from when we are able to meticulously identify SMEs, enterprises that are doing well. They have moved beyond the introductory stage. Perhaps they are at the growth stage, some are at maturity stage, and some are even getting to declining stage. And there must be a deliberate attempt by the state to do what? To rejuvenate, capitalize, and be able to sustain these businesses. Let me give you a clear analysis. Assuming today we have a budget that says that as a country, we want to identify 1,000 SMEs at various stages of growth in every region. So that would have given you 16,000 companies and small businesses. Isn't that the case?
Yeah.
Let's even assume that at the greater Accra level and Ashanti level, we are increasing the numbers. So we have total number of 20,000 identified businesses across the entire country. And you provide them liquidity of 50,000 Ghana cedis. There are some businesses in this country who are doing well. They are performing well in their own space. They don't have the capacity to secure a bank loan, because bank loan, the interest rate on a bank loan alone will kill them straightforward. Yeah. I'm only pleading with any government that do the mathematics. 50,000, capitalizing them each 50,000 by 20,000, that will give you 1 billion cedis. Just 1 billion. How much are we wasting on unnecessary things in this country? When SML alone takes 1.2 billion. So there should be a deliberate attempt to grow businesses. Because if 20,000 businesses are directly, I would have loved to see that captured in the budget. That will say to us that, you know what, we want to provide support for the enterprises. We want to grow them. You see the Indum kind of banking model, taking banks into the doorsteps of the people. You would have equipped Indum, equipped rural banks, equipped this kind of small micro companies, give the money to them. They identify the companies, work with them, know their strengths, their weaknesses, and what they can do. And if we inject 1 billion directly into the people, and everybody out of the 20,000 companies is able to employ additional 2 more hands, KMJ, how many jobs would you have created directly? You would have created about 40,000 jobs outright. Because if I'm producing shoe or I'm doing a garment and I can sell and I can make money and government give me 50,000 Ghana cedis to capitalize me, I can bring more sophisticated machines, I can do this, I can do that. At the end of the day, it improves the economy. Then the other aspect of it is that...
Yeah, the last one for me, let me do some messages.
I know your time is up.
Yeah.
Ideally, but in order for him to have his day, look, I'm coming.
It's 8 o'clock already.
I would have loved to hear about the Commander Sugar Factory. Let's do proper analysis of things. NDC was the one who retrofitted the Commander Sugar Factory. Isn't that the case? Today, what is the state of the Commander Sugar Factory? What is the government trying to do to revamp the Commander Sugar Factory? Those who are supposed to be cultivating the sugarcane, what is government projection? So we should be told about what is happening. And then the last point, housing. If you look at the key indicators for every human being, especially those living in the urban areas, it's about accommodation. Accommodation, KMJ. And then you have a government who is able to build Saglemi housing. I would have loved to hear the government and what they are doing about Saglemi housing to put it into use. You spend so much money there and there's no human being in that building. Who are we? Are we really trying to make progress, or we are interested in spending the money?
Okay.
At the end of the day, we spend the money and we are not able to measure how many people we've been able to move from poverty into what? A middle income society. And then most of the things the data we present, they are hypothetical data. For instance, if government is saying they want to create 800,000 jobs, this is purely hypothesis, because it is not a quantitative data that they are giving us for us to be able to do or quantify and measure and be able to take a clear-cut deal and know that, look, at the end of the day, per your quantitative analysis you have given us on your projections, we are likely to do at least 50% of the 800,000 jobs that we anticipate that the policy proposal will bring. But the palm plantation, the ability for all state schools to purchase from the local market is a beautiful idea. With that one, you are going to absorb all manner of excesses in the system. But we should also be looking at storage. Storage is key.
Richard, we'll have time to do more of the budget. So I'll end for me on that part. But this one says, good morning, KMG. Is it a case that the 78 charges by OSP are mutually exclusive and characteristics of similarities such that they can't be regrouped or aligned to fewer charges, or is one of those OSP play with the emotions of Ghanaians? Is it serious at all? AG must wake up, or we, the citizens, must wake up to demonstrate. Simon sent in that. And Doc was also asking the same questions with regards to the 78 counts. Now, good morning, Mr. Host. Tell the NPP man that they lose the money from the public purse. Now they are calling for creating job. Tell him to call Ofori Atta to bring the money. Criminal party. Okay, that's from Francis. Let me go to this one over here. It's from... It says, Doc, your arrogance is slowly but surely loading you to a position, always defending what's wrong about your party, NDC. Wise man Kasim sent in that. It says, when it's about the achievement, you boast, but when it's about the failure, it's only 10 months of office, you would say. What happened to your flagship program, 24-Hour Economy? We are keenly watching you from opposition. And, okay, so he sent a couple of them. Unfortunately, we can't do many of your messages. I don't have... No. It's time for sports.
KMG, yes, give me a minute.
Dog, you can't do a minute what you want to do.
30 seconds.
You can't even do 30 seconds.
KMG, do you know that we threw...
KMG, I'll come. I will come.
We threw frequently asked questions.
If he comes...
What industries will benefit from 24 hours economy? I have it here. Your cameras can pan.
Okay, and those were the answers.
Construction, manufacturing, whatever. My brother is saying that.
So this were research that.
And so that big push. The construction of roads is part of 24 hours. That's indeed KMG. When you read Appendix 4A,
you see the PowerPoint projection. PowerPoint projection.
There is nowhere written that presidential staff salary increased by 7%. This is it. If he can show that.
The life increment. As for you, appropriation is not a priority of President Mahama and his government. I am surprised the NDC communicators are still... No. Hold on. No, your microphones are off. Your microphones are off. Doc. Say your microphones are off.
No, but you give him 30
No, wait. So wait. I'll give you 30 seconds. Let me finish. Doc. No, say you will not get the 30 seconds. Master Planner says job creation is not.
It is there in the budget.
It says job creation is not a priority of President Mahama and his government. I'm surprised the NDC communicators are still talking about 24 hours economy like they are in opposition doing campaign. The 24 hours economy is not part of the President Mahama's priority. Just look at the budget allocation for the 24 hours economy in the budget 2026 budget. 110 million allocated for 24 hours economy, but 292 million has been allocated for sanitary pad purchasing. All right, so Master Planner sent in that one. But that will be all for this morning. We'll say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for making it possible for us to have this conversation.